Greetings from New Jersey, and today I will be on my way to Colombia with a few of the members here for a retreat and a wonderful Janmāṣṭamī festival. Really anxious for the people here to see what the congregation is there. I was speaking on Krishna's birth, and I did get up to the time that Krishna was born. And I didn't really go further than that, but I guess, and I'm not prepared to speak further than that. So I guess maybe the next time I speak, I guess on Wednesday, is I can discuss it when he's transferred. Today I thought I'll just read from a book called Bhaktyāloka by Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, where he discusses two verses in the Upadeśāmṛta. Upadesh is instructions. Amrita means nectar. Prabhupada translates the nectar of instruction. Where he discusses the 6 favorable and unfavorable, and I just picked one of Om Jnana Timarandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Taksuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Sayam Rūpa Kadhamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vansha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Śrī Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasade Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So let me just summarize where we were up to in Krishna's birth. Krishna's born. He enters the womb of Devaki, and he's effulgence and Kamsa, who now he's already persecuted because he was told by Narada that all the all the demigods took birth, so he's already persecuting all the demigods. He has Devaki and Vasudeva, Krishna's father and mother, in prison. And he's demoniac. And demon means, and there's a little bit of that in all of us, demon means that your priority is your control and enjoyment. And there's nothing to restrict it. There's no principles. Of course, we have people who are sociopaths. They have no conscience even. If they want something, they get it. They don't mind if they kill, rape, pillage, So Kamsa's, it's his, it doesn't care, it's his sister. It was the day of her wedding. A woman, of course. And he's really been concerned about this. The whole Bhagavatam is about not being concerned about this. As Prabhupada said at the very end of his life, in a very nonchalant way, what is death but a change of body? Deheno smin yata dehe komaranyo vanam jara tata dehantara praptir diryas tatsam. As the embodied soul moves from boyhood to childhood to youth to old age, similarly at the time of death, they're not bewildered by such a change. But someone who doesn't have that vision, and therefore this life is the all in all, and their goal is enjoyment, and they don't believe in an absolute truth and therefore an absolute law or morality or something higher than their own desires and opinions. So he really wanted to kill her, but in that false egotistical conception, his dilemma was that what that would do to his reputation. And reputation, I've written about this, is a commodity that allows us to negotiate the world and move through the world. If you want control, you also want reputation. So Kamsa is into control, and so he is in a dilemma. But he knows if he kills her, because she's pregnant, a sister, a woman who's pregnant, and he's just, because initially he was hit with the kashvani and he just responded. He couldn't even think. Now it is there. He can give a little bit of contemplation. And he's concerned about his reputation in this life and the next. So he decides, well, if I kill her, I definitely lose my reputation. So, let it be born first. Then I don't have to kill my sister, just kill the child. I don't know what he was thinking, but and then he became, so fearful. He became so fearful. Then we see these signs of good fortune, and there is a science of omens. So there are signs of good fortune, and there are signs of bad fortune. So when Krishna is just about to be born, there's the ultimate signs of good fortune. And these sacrificial fires, the Brahmins were feeling oppressed. They see these signs of good fortune, and they're getting confidence. And now you can hear their mantras. Now their sacred fires their yagyas begin to really develop, become inflamed, and just the whole atmosphere is becoming adjusted perfectly. It's very, very auspicious. And the demigods, who on a very higher level of perception, the kind of cosmic consciousness, they're in tune with what Krishna is doing or appearing, and they all bring their talents. whether it's dancing or chanting prayers or playing drums or singing, or it's just a full manifestation of their jubilance. And then Krishna is born, and his father's there, and his father's is bewildered. Not bewildered. Bewildered means confused. It's abhuta. It's astonished. It's astonished because astonishment means it's something beyond one's expectation and sometimes beyond one's understanding, but it's wonderful. And he's just wondering how this child is born, and he's fully decorated. And how is he born? It's God. How is he born in the prison? And how is he born in the womb? And he's very, very kind of bewildered. He's kind of very, very enlivened that his son is God. His son is God. Yeah, I was thinking today, I'm not sure how this is relevant. You know, I have things down in Colombia, so I don't have to travel. So I'm going to the plane. I can just get on the plane. And I did that from LA, and it was really easy. And, but, you know, I'm watching, you know, due to our past experiences, we have aversions and attachments. We have, you know, fears, so many things. So I have some kind of, it's not like, I'll put it in my own language. It's not like Woody Allen-esque. It's not totally ludicrous. But I always get, I don't, you know, if people know me, I have the ability, it's just a fact, and I always had the ability to undergo prolonged mental and physical duress. I just have that karma. Even my father noticed it. But somehow or other, always when traveling, this, I guess it's just Woody Allen nature comes out, you know, the irrational, you know, and when I get on as soon as I get on the car, I start like, where's my passport? Where's my thing? So Champa couldn't book me in because my doctor gave the old phone number for the vaccination card. So, you know, it's just, and then I had the thought also is that, well, then the thoughts come, what if, you know, what if the plane's all booked? What if you know, and it's just like, I'm able to extract myself and where is this coming from? Because it's so not me, but in traveling, I always arrive really early. Yeah, and but what I was thinking of, and this is how Monday morning greetings get born. What I was thinking about is to be happy, you really have to be detached. What if what if there's no plane? And something with plane and another one available till Thursday. If I don't know, there's, of course I got a ticket booked here, but I don't know what they wrote in the thing. But I just thought, and I think I'm ready for it. And the challenge is to really cultivate detachment, to really be satisfied with Krishna's will, no matter what it happens. But you can see I'm attached to going, and if it's not, and then the whole concept of being equal in happiness and distress. This is the plan, and you have to somehow achieve it before death. Equal in happiness and distress. When Prabhupada came to Dallas in 1974 or something, I was there, and he would give Bhagavad Gita in the morning. And I remember the verse he spoke on. Matra sparshas takonteya sitoshna sukha dukha agama payano nityastam. The non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course of time is like the changing of the summer and winter season. And one should learn to tolerate them. So I see in spiritual life, and that's why attachment to the holy name is so beautiful, because it's something you can always have with you. It's something that no one can take away. It doesn't matter how the world changes. And it's possible. It's possible to get a deep taste for the holy name. It's possible. So that really has to be our goal. And I guess, the nature of the world, who knows what to believe? Because it all comes through different medias, and they're just not honest anymore. So you don't really even know what's out there, but you kind of get a sense, even if the news is skewed left or right, it's so screwed up in the world too. And then I had another realization. I was thinking of writing something else. And I have to put in a sensitive way because it had to do with the glories of COVID. But no, in the sense that I was just thinking that relief that you could get with the sense of detachment when, Krishna just told the world, I'm shutting you down. You're not in control. And then when you give up that control, what a relief it is. Of course, I was put in a very easy position. My life is already sedentary. My life is, I don't have many responsibilities. So it's not exactly parallel to people's lives. But the fact of the boost in the Hare Krishna movement is people, they only had to take shelter of it is like classes and classes and classes and chanting and hearing. So this was in some way, and I'm not even sure how, was related, but I'll get back to Krishna's birth. It went there, and it was the connection I don't remember, but I did want to share with you my realizations. So yeah, Vasudeva was, but a Buddha is also it's indirect ras, which means you experience your relationship with Krishna through a particular mood that comes from that relationship with Krishna. But it's so powerful, that mood is so powerful that it appears that it's an experience in itself. And I gave the example like laughter, it's friendship or it's conjugal. But it has its own relish that you forget that's what it actually is. It's just you're experiencing that primary relationship indirectly through these strong emotions. So this is parental. but it's sankula ras. Sankula ras, it's mixed with reverence. It's mixed with a reverential feeling. So another point is that he begins to worship in his mind because he's in prison, so he can't do what a father wants to do, the chivalrous charity, dana vira, giving in charity. My son is born, hati dia, gora dia, or dia, giving all those things, charity. So he does it in his mind because the body is ultimately an expression of the mind. It's just easy to activate the mind in devotion if you put the body there. But people on the level of smaran, people on the level of remembrance, they're there in the mind. And it's really, it's the mind that's devotion. If your mind's in devotion, you're in devotion. If your body's in devotion, if your body's in service, it becomes devotion. If the mind is put there, really. Oh, well, there's also a gata sukriti where the body's there and there's some service. Unknowingly, you perform service, but generally it's that mind. So in the mind, one can do service. And he began to offer charity in the mind in honor of his son. So that's where we're up to in the birth, and I'm going to be speaking on it for several days. So some of you have heard. So it seems to, what I'm experiencing is when you tell a story again, you can get deeper. And also, what it really is it's a facility to share your realizations. So if you have new realizations, even though you're telling the same story, if you have new realizations, it still can be interesting. So I picked the section this is the first one to give up is there's things that are favorable and things that are unfavorable. So this is favorable is Sanga Tyaga, giving up the association of non-devotees. Now, we have to understand this a little bit subtly because we do deal in the world and we do have all sorts of relationships. So I'll try to deal with that subtly but Sangha is so important. Yeah, we had this Tuesday program that Jack is organizing. It's wonderful. And we had Balaram's appearance day. And it was just wonderful, Balaram's appearance day. It was, and we were so surprised that so many people did come and so many preparations. I wasn't expecting because just on Tuesday, I said, Jax, we'll have it. Yeah, okay. So I thought, can people come again? They're working, but it was nice to see Kaveri and Mangalarti came from the city, and they stayed with Jai Subhadra and Govardhan Lal, and they came. But what I saw is sometimes what keeps people in Krishna consciousness is the good friendships they have with the devotees. And how one moves, whether they move down or up, a lot depends on the amount and quality of the association they have. And when you do come to Krishna consciousness, it changes because now your faith is different. So those who know, and I'm not talking about a faith like, I'm a Krishna conscious, I believe in Krishna, but your faith that the ultimate goal of life is this connection with God and relationship. And the relationship is a feeling of relationship. And that kind of spiritual objection. So there will be people that don't have your particular conception of God, and they may not even exactly believing, but they're not against God, and they support what you're doing. That's one thing. But when one don't, then gradually there's not much to relate to. Yeah, so this Sangha is so important. So I was thinking with those ladies, Jai Subhadra and Sri Rūpa, and I spoke to Kunji Kishori, who's been my secretary for 25 years. Those relationships keep them connected in Krishna consciousness, even in years where there's struggles and don't, the material life seems to be absolutely increasingly overwhelming. People can't afford a house. My father was middle class, but he could buy a house. People can't buy a house. Now people have to live with their parents. It's hard for them to move out. I wouldn't be surprised in the future if we're all lined up by the bus station, by the bus stop in the rain. Price of cars now have become astronomical, the price of gas. It's kind of a subtle illusion because you get more money, but it's worth less and less. So material life is such a struggle. I see that. But what keeps people connected is the Sangha. So let's read. In the Śrī Upadeśāmṛta, Srila Rūpa Gosvāmī has said that one's devotion is enhanced by utsaha, nistaya, dharyat, tat karma pavartana, sanga, tyaga, and sadvriti. Added these items, utsaha, nistaya, dharyat, and tat karma pavartana have already been separately discussed in the previous essays. Now I try to discuss the meaning of the word Sanga, Tyaga. So, giving up, Tyaga, renouncing. There are two types of Sangha, association and attachment. Association is of two types, with non-devotees and with the opposite sex, women. So association is the people you're with, and attachments are the things and attitudes you have. that are anartha, have no value. Similarly, attachment is of two types: attachment for prejudices and attachment for assets. And prejudices mean attitudes we have where we judge things not for what they are, but due to a previous experience where we generalized. And therefore prejudices take us out from a vision of reality. And therefore from a vision for God, because God is truth. So let's see how he discusses this. The Mahatmas who wish to attain perfection in devotional service should carefully give up Sanga in the form of association and attachment. Otherwise, this Sanga will gradually and surely ruin everything. Well, that's a tall order, but it's going to be based on our faith, and our faith is going to be based on our experience. That's why retreats are so important, because experience comes from absorption. And the nature of retreats is to create an atmosphere where people easily can be absorbed. And in that absorption, there's experience of God. And when we have that experience of God and we feel what that does to our hearts, we realize somehow or other this is the objective, and you move towards your faith or your objectives. And even if we don't, it's there, always beckoning, move in this direction. And then eventually it's going to happen. No other shelter is going to last that's material, because it's temporary. And if we're lucky, God will let us know, I'm taking it away. And then we'll chant the holy name with faith. Otherwise, we'll have to get that realization by the understanding and application of the philosophy, but then we'll get that faith. Krishna, 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 hey. Then we'll take shelter. We'll get bhutva, paliyate. Bhagavad Gita says, this world is destroyed again and again and again. And eventually you get tired of it, of building my sand castles on the shore of the ocean. You'll get tired of it. Eventually you'll throw your hands up and fully surrender to Guru and Krishna. The world is meant to bring you to that realization for your own benefit. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Sangat sanjayate kama, kama krodha bhajayate. Krodha bhavati sammoha samahat smiti vibraha. Smita brahmshad buddhinasho buddhinashat panashyati. From attachment, lust develops. And from lust, anger arises, because when lust is not fulfilled, we're not just talking about lust as sex life, but this strong attachment. But it's called kama. Kama. When it's not attached, there's frustration and anger. From anger, complete delusion arises. And from delusion, bewilderment of memory. Then, you become deluded. You're not seeing, and then you just forget everything. And then when that has happened, your intelligence is lost. And when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool. A practitioner should always remember this instruction of the Lord. If a practitioner engages in prohibited association, then gradually his attachment increases. And association here is not just being with people, but engaging in intimate relationships with people, because that creates a conduit between one's heart and another person's. And what's in the other person's heart will come to your heart. And that's why, Sangha, sadhu Sangha is so important, but sadhu Sangha means more advanced, like-minded, and relationship. That's first-class sadhu Sangha. And of course, we can have intimate relations, we can have relationships with people who don't. But if they're innocent, then we can share our own hearts. They'll be willing to let us share our hearts with them without trying to transfer what's in their hearts to us, because they realize that it's not working. If a practitioner engages in prohibited association, then gradually his attachment increases. The more this attachment increases, the more his firm faith in the supreme goal diminishes. Faith is, again, not, I don't believe, it's not I believe or I don't believe, but it's a remembrance of an experience, a trust by experience of a goal. And memory fades. And with the memory fading, then our faith goes. We forget why we have come. We forget the experiences we've had that touched our hearts and gave us the conviction that this is the goal that's worth having. The more this attachment increases, the more, the purport is the living entity is spiritual, being conditioned by Maya and falsely proud due to ignorance. The living entity has forgotten his constitutional position. In his pure state, the living entity does not associate with Maya, rather he remains fully spiritual. Therefore, the eternal Sangha of the living entity in that state is desirable. The Sangha in the conditioned state of a living entity is polluted, because the person's heart, that Sangha being polluted with nescience in the form of association with non-devotees and women and attachment for family and assets, is unfavorable for one's advancement. Spiritual Sangha of the living entity is compatible, and mundane Sangha is incompatible. To get free from this incompatible Sangha is the living entity's liberation. Now we shall consider incompatible Sangha. First, we consider the association of non-devotees. Who is a non-devotee? Those who are not subordinate to the Lord are called non-devotees. It doesn't say Hare Krishna. The Jnanis are never subordinate to the Lord. They think they can become one with the Lord on the strength of their knowledge. They think Jnana is the topmost object. The Lord cannot keep one who attains Jnana under his control. The Lord became supreme by the strength of this Jnana. I too will become supreme. Therefore, all the endeavors of the Jnanis are to become independent of the Lord. The Lord's power does not act on one who achieves liberation in the form of merging with the Lord, which is attained by Jnana. This is the attempt of the Jnanis. There's also that distinction between Mayavadis and Brahmavadis. The Mayavadis seem to have a definitive antagonistic philosophy towards God. The Brahmavadis, it seems to me they may have an impersonal realization, but without the antagonism. Somehow, I don't know why I'm fatigued. I don't get much sleep, but I still shouldn't be tired now. Okay. The Gyanis and mundane scholars do not depend on the mercy of the Lord. They try to achieve everything on the strength of their knowledge and reasoning. They do not care for the Lord's mercy. Therefore, the Gyanis are non-devotees. Although some Gyanis accept devotional service as their process of sadhana, at the time of perfection, they discard it. So there's something in the Vedic system called Panchaposhana. Panchaposhana means 5 types of worship. You worship the different demigods. You worship the different demigods as you worship them, any one of the 5, Brahma, Durga, Shiva, Ganesh, you worship them not with the objective that they are supreme or that there is a supreme, but you worship them with the objective of transcending it and merging with God. So the worship is not sincere because it's for some other reason. So Prabhupada called that the love of a prostitute. She engages in some love with a man, but actually it's just to get the money. And then after the money, there's no love. So this is Panchaposhana. You worship one of the demigods to achieve liberation. When the Bhagavad Gita came out by Dr. Radhakrishna, a great Sanskrit scholar who was an impersonalist, was the president of India, he wrote in his commentary on Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto Madhyaji, worship Krishna, remember me, etc. He said, it is not to the unborn it's not to the unborn that we have to, it's not to Krishna we have to surrender, but the unborn within him or something. And Prabhupada said, what a rascal philosophy. And then Prabhupada quoted a verse from the Upanishads. Deha, dehi, nabedyo yam, neshvari. If there's an absolute, there can't be no different. It's not to Krishna we have to surrender, but to the unborn beginning within him. And Prabhupada said, Deha, dehi, nabedyo yam, neshvari, vidyate. Within the absolute, there can't be any distinction between the inside and the outside. And then, of course, Prabhupada said, Krishna is directly saying, Manmana, me, surrender unto me. Okay, somehow, I don't know why I got a little tired and brain fog, but I was up early and wasn't that much sleep. So, Jamunajaya, any points today you share, and then others?
Yes, Maharaj, thank you for class. I really love that last part where indeed, what a rascal that seems, as you were saying what he said about the Bhagavad Gita and the surrendering. I'm like, that don't make no sense. It's so crazy. So, but I love that. But I especially loved you say it many times that faith is trust by experience. And I really like the point you were making today is that to keep faith, we have to go back to the things or engage in things that gave us the experience in the first place. To, go back to the Sanga, go back to the Kirtan, go back to the reading. And that's what keeps you going. And to your point, go back to those relationships. So you always say that you need to make times in your day, your month, your week, your year. But that really struck me that we have to keep going back to that. And that's how we keep our faith strong.
Right. Not only back to the activity, but at least, well, yeah, we have to do something to actually remember, why am I here? I'm here because I was convinced that there's a goal that was worthy of this sacrifice I make, of my time and effort. And you're here because there was that experience. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Raj. Have a safe travel.
I will.
I'll get there next time.
Where's my passport? Where's my ticket? It's not my money. It's the only time I become Woody Allen-esque. It's you know, what if the plane doesn't come? What if it's not? What if it's already booked? What if the thing? Why is it? You know, I'm looking at it and I'm going like this. What the hell are you doing? At least I can extract myself. But even if you extract yourself intellectually, the feelings are still there, and it's irrational. It must be in my past life I missed my plane. You know, I must have missed my plane in my last life, and it created a samskara. And sometimes I have dreams like that I'm kind of running for the train, or you know, I'm late for the airport. It's yeah. Okay. Haribo, thank you. Anybody else say hello?
Hi, Krishna Maharaj. Yeah. Well, a couple of things. One is just following up on what Jamuna and you were just saying. You know, it reminded me. I think it was C.S. Lewis, right, who said that people generally, they don't like make a firm decision to leave religion. They kind of drift away.
Yeah, because faith is not renewed, he says.
Yeah.
You have to spend some time every day in contemplation. And yeah, that's what he said in a very beautiful way. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, what else?
Yeah, just, you know, still when it comes to this, for example, laughter, you know, becoming like an experience in itself, you know.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get that, you know. The only thing I can think is like if you're cracking up really hard, I don't think that's what you mean though.
No, no, I'm saying sometime we're joking with our friends, right?
Yeah.
And we're relishing humor, right? We're really relishing the experience. I love humor. You know, I love jokes.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, me and your husband Joseph, we could just get together and share our Rodney Dangerfield, you know, favorite jokes. You know, I was so ugly that when I was born, the doctor slapped my mother. I don't get no respect. No respect. You know, I went to wait. I'm on a roll now. I went to this psychiatrist, and I told the psychiatrist, "Doctor, no one pays any attention to me." He said, "Next." So
that one is always funny.
What's that? So I mean,
that one is always funny.
It's always funny.
All of them, they're always funny. They never get old.
Gail, wait. You know, I was so depressed, I called the suicide hotline. They encouraged me. I don't get no respect. But there's something too about humor. Let's say with your friends, and you know, the guys get together and they're joking, right? So they're relishing the humor, but it's also an indirect experience of the love of friendship too. That's what it means. So with Krishna, there's these powerful rasas that you experience, but you're also indirectly experiencing, like Radha and Krishna will joke with each other, right?
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun, but it's an indirect experience of the conjugal relationship. Anyway, Gail, some things you'll just have to become self-realized, and then you'll that's my conclusion.
No, but what will happen is that in some class in the future, you'll just tweak your explanation in the slightest way, and it'll be completely illuminating. That's what usually happens.
That's why I don't give the full answer, so I keep you coming. Okay.
Whatever works, Maharaj. Whatever works.
Okay. It's working. You've been coming for like 15 years, waiting for me to finally explain the point.
Yeah. It'll happen.
Okay.
Thanks for keep trying, Maharaj. Thank you.
Yeah. Have you gone to communion today? That's a joke too. Yeah, that was a joke, but it was an inside joke. Okay. You didn't laugh.
Yes, I get it.
Anybody else say hello?
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, Janmāṣṭamī here.
Janmāṣṭamī,
Haribol. Thank you for the class and have a safe trip, Guru Maharaj.
Where are you now? Still in?
I'm in the farm.
You were in the farm, okay.
Yeah.
Not the apartment?
No.
You moved back to the farm. They finished the construction?
Yes, we did.
Is it nice?
Yeah, but really hot and humid.
It's hot and humid, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, Tota Gopinath here.
And Kishore Radha.
Okay, Haribo, Tota.
Haribo.
Okay, make sure you're on time, because you know how I get.
I'll be there.
Okay.
On time.
Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hey, Bhakti Devi.
How are you?
You're in your country place?
No, I'm in Prospect Park.
Oh, you're in your country place in Prospect Park. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Beautiful Prospect Park. Yep. Well, I wish you safe travels, and I hope you don't, I hope your flight leaves on time and everybody's nice to you.
I'm not that worried, but I just observe it that it's so uncharacteristic of me, Okay, now I'll tell you my favorite Woody Allen scene. Because when I was in New York City, I came with Jack on Wednesday, and it's impossible to get parking now, because it was already impossible. Now half the parking spaces are with the restaurants from COVID on the street.
Or the bikes, or the city bike bags.
and the city bikes. So I said, Jack, it's impossible. And then what happens is, every time you see a spot in the future, right, you become very excited, and then you see a fire hydrant, right? but somehow or other, we rode by and we look at the spot. Oh, it's a fire. We rode by and we get back. Wait, Jack, there may be a room. So anyway, we got in. But then I noticed when it was at the end, when we were walking back to the car, and I saw a parking spot, and I became very excited, even though I didn't need one anymore. So what I did remember is there was this Woody Allen movie, and I think I told this before, and it was at night, and he was going down the streets of New York, and he was in a coffin, and there were 4 pallbearers. I think I told this. And then they see a parking spot, and then he's going to parallel park in, and in his dream, another coffin comes in and takes his spot. Okay, all right. I knew you would appreciate that. Okay.
Yes, thank you, Maharaj.
Okay, anybody else? Say hello.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, this is Malati.
Malati, Haribo, I'll see you next month.
Absolutely. Have a safe travel.
Great, thank you. Great. Anybody else say hello?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev.
Let me see who this is. Isabel, we'll see you soon. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to have a great time in Colombia. You'll really love the people will love you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good. See you soon.
Okay, great. Good. Anybody else?
Maharaj, thank you for class and have a nice trip, you and all the people who's coming.
Okay, we'll see you soon. That's great.
That's great.
Okay.
We are very happy waiting for you.
I'm very happy to come. You know the.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev.
Okay, we'll see you soon. Okay, anybody else?
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, it's all Govinda.
And Braja, thank you for class.
Haribo.
Haribo.
We'll all, depending on you both, to make the Janmāṣṭamī here at Jack's really. I told Jack, Braja, you were leading the Abhishek Kirtan. I told him.
We're gonna sing the Madhurastakam. Is that okay?
Great.
Yeah.
That's what, hand out sheets. Those things are wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That really gives Bob, right?
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
practicing that one?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Madhuram, Madhuram, Vadanam, Madhuram, Madhuradipati, Madhuram, Madhuram. Wow, that's going to be ecstatic. Great. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. You can't always rely on the guru. The people there have to take up and make these things enlivening for people. Okay, great.
Oh, your mercy, Gurudev.
It's okay. Anybody else?
They traveled.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, I look at the list. I see every single person that's there. Okay. Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bheva Chapati